The Man in the Vending Machine. A terrifying encounter with the unknown. Part 1. The vending machine that shouldn't work. I work night shifts at a security post near an abandoned industrial park. It's the kind of place where even rats seem to avoid the shadows. Every building is boarded up, windows shattered, wires stripped for copper. But there's one thing that still glows in the dark like it's alive. A vending machine. It sits next to a crumbling break room wall. Power's been dead here for years, but every night around 3 a.m., its neon panel hums to life, casting this eerie blue light across the cracked pavement. I swear, the machine shouldn't even exist anymore, let alone be functioning. At first, I thought maybe someone was playing a prank, but night after night, it kept lighting up. No extension cords, no generator, nothing. Just that soft flicker and the faint clunk of its inner gears shifting, like it was waiting. I didn't pay it much attention until one night, out of boredom, I walked up to it. The keypad still worked. The buttons were sticky, some labels rubbed off, but I could still make out a few options. Chips, soda, candy, and A6. A6 didn't have a label, just a dark slot. I leaned in, squinted at the product behind the glass, and I swear to God, I saw something twitch. I stepped back, and that's when the machine whispered my name. Part 2. It knows my name. I didn't move for what felt like a full minute. The wind had stopped, the air was still, but I was sure I hadn't imagined it. The vending machine had said my name. Not in a mechanical voice, not like a recording. It whispered it, low and wet, like it came from inside a throat that shouldn't be inside a vending machine. I backed away slowly, my hand hovering over the flashlight, clipped to my belt. But just as I turned to leave, something clanged in the tray. A metallic thump, like something had just been dispensed. Against every instinct I had, I looked. A single item lay in the slot. A small, black-wrapped package. No brand, no markings, just my name written on it in thick, smeared ink. I didn't touch it. Not that night. Instead, I ran back to the booth, locked the door, and spent the rest of my shift watching the glow of that machine from behind the glass. It stayed lit for hours, flickering, pulsing, like it was waiting, watching. The next night, it happened again. Same time, same whisper, another package. This time, it had today's date scrawled on it in what looked like dried blood. This time, I picked it up. It was warm. Part 3. A gift I can't return. My hands shook as I unwrapped the small black package. Inside was a small glossy photo. It was a picture of the vending machine, taken from the corner of the room where I had first noticed the shadows. The photo was blurry, but one thing was clear. There was a face pressed up against the glass of the machine. A face I knew. It was me. My stomach dropped. I looked at the picture again. The face in the photo was me, but my eyes were hollow. There was something wrong with them, something unnatural. I felt like I was suffocating just looking at it. But what disturbed me more wasn't the photo. It was what came next. The machine began to hum again, the usual rhythmic buzzing, and then the familiar whisper echoed through the dark room. I know your secret. I froze. I didn't know what secret it was referring to. My mind raced, trying to think of anything I'd done wrong, but I came up blank. And then, in that moment, the lights above the vending machine flickered, and it felt like the room was closing in on me. I could feel something inside the machine, something pressing against the glass. It was as if it was trying to break free. The buzzing sound grew louder and louder, until I couldn't hear my own thoughts. A sudden crash broke through the chaos. The glass shattered, sending shards flying into the air. And standing there, emerging from the wreckage, was a figure. Half crawling, half walking, as if it had been trapped inside for too long. It was me, but it wasn't. The figure's face was pale, its skin stretched tight, the same hollow eyes staring into mine. It smiled. Part 4. It knows everything. The figure stood in front of me, its movement jerky, unnatural. My heart raced, and I took a step back, but my legs felt like lead. I couldn't move. It was me, or at least it looked like me. Its face was twisted, a grotesque reflection of mine, with hollow eyes that seemed to see right through me. It smiled again, the kind of smile that made my blood run cold, like it knew something I didn't. "Do you see?" the figure whispered, its voice an eerie echo of my own. "I'm you, and you're me." I opened my mouth to scream, but no sound came out. I was paralyzed, caught between the nightmare unfolding before me and the sinking feeling that I couldn't escape it. The room around us seemed to warp, the walls stretching and contracting, as though they were alive, suffocating me with their pressure. The vending machine, now completely shattered, buzzed with a strange static noise. And then, as if in response to the figure's words, the machine spoke. "I know everything." The voice was deeper than I had ever heard before, more sinister. It wasn't just a whisper anymore. It was a voice that crawled into my skull, scraping at my thoughts. The figure took another step forward, its smile widening. "Every secret, every fear, everything you've ever tried to bury." The room began to spin, and I grabbed the edge of the nearest table to steady myself. The air felt thick, like I was breathing through water. I had to get out of there. But where? The door was locked. The walls seemed to be closing in, and the figure was getting closer. I stumbled backward, trying to keep my distance from the thing that looked like me. But it was always one step ahead. I couldn't outrun it. And then it spoke again, its voice now a low growl that seemed to reverberate through my bones. "Don't you remember? You invited me here." Part 5. The price of the invitation. The words echoed in my head, reverberating with an eerie truth that I couldn't escape. "You invited me here." I couldn't breathe. My chest felt tight, constricted by something that wasn't physical. The thing, no, it was me, grinned wider, its smile stretching impossibly wide. Its eyes glowed with a malevolent light, as if the darkness in the room had consumed them, leaving only an abyss. I stumbled backward, heart hammering in my chest. "No, no, this isn't real," I shouted, but the words fell flat in the air, swallowed by the oppressive silence that surrounded me. The vending machine's static buzz grew louder, louder, until it was a deafening roar in my ears. The lights above flickered, casting long, eerie shadows across the room. The walls felt like they were closing in on me, the space shrinking with each breath I took. I was trapped. There was no escape. And then it stepped closer. "You did this," the figure whispered, its voice thick with malice. You made the deal. A chill ran down my spine. A deal? I didn't. What deal? I racked my brain trying to make sense of the words, but everything was a blur. I couldn't remember anything. Do you remember that night? It asked, tilting its head, eyes narrowing. The night you pressed the wrong button. The night you summoned me. The memory hit me like a freight train. A flash of fear. A moment of weakness. I had been desperate that night. A late-night craving for something sweet, some comfort. I had stood in front of that vending machine, staring at the glowing buttons, when I thought I saw something odd, something out of place. I didn't know why, but I pressed it anyway. I pressed the button, and something had changed. But I had never thought. By pressing the wrong button, the figure continued, its voice now a low hiss. You set me free. And now, you will pay. My hands trembled. My mind raced, but all I could see was the thing that looked like me, getting closer, its twisted form becoming more distorted with every passing second. I didn't know what it wanted, but I knew it was coming for me. And then it stopped. Its grin vanished, replaced by something worse. A cold, empty stare that seemed to pierce right through me. You should have known, it whispered, its voice a mere breath. Once you invite me in, there's no going back. And in that moment, I realized the true horror of it all. The deal was never about the vending machine. It was about me. Psst, thank you for staying till the end. If your heart's still beating, maybe it's time to like, share, and subscribe. We'll be waiting here every week with a new nightmare just for you. Remember, in the silence, something always listens back.